Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rafael Duke Page Guy channel. It is I, Rafael Duke, back here once again for another video. I haven't done a video in a little while. Took a little time off due to the holidays, and honestly, I'm just feeling like absolute hell these last couple days. I'm tired, I'm sick, and work's been kicking my ass ever since coming back from the house show in Montreal. But speaking of that, I figured today I'd give you guys a little bit of an inside scoop and just my thoughts and general information and appreciation of the Wwe Superstar Experience as I lived it on December 29th, 2019 at Place Belle in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Figured this could be a good informational video and you guys can see, you know, what it's like and honestly hear my thoughts and make your own judgment on it if it is worth it or not. So, WWE in house shows have two experiences. For regular shows, they have the ringside stuff, but I haven't even touched that yet. For house shows, they have two choices of quote-unquote experiences. The Superstar Experience and the Walk the Aisle Experience. So, on the floor, usually the first two seats reserved in the three areas around ringside are the Superstar Experiences, while the two first rows near the ramps will be what they call the Walk the Aisle experiences. Now, the Walk the Aisle and Superstar Experience have about a difference about $200 to $300 Canadian based on which you picked. I picked the Superstar Experience. Now, the Walk the Aisle experience usually is a thing that you do on its own. The Superstar Experience, again, it's on its own thing. But since at the show we were at, there was not too many people, for the Superstar Experience, I think we were like 8. And the Walk the Aisle, I think they were about 10. Because of that, I got to do both. I got to do the Walk the Aisle and Superstar Experience, which the woman there, the woman that works for WWE that takes care of us, of the people for that, at least for the SmackDown shows, was super nice, super kind, amazing woman. She was really cool and answered my questions, allowed me to record, wasn't strict on anything. She was really, really nice. And I appreciate the work she does and the work she did for us that night. So, I got to do both. So, after you buy the tickets, in Montreal, I couldn't receive the tickets, they were at will call, which is basically you show up, you say you paid the tickets, give them the information, they give you the tickets. I got there at least like almost 3 hours in advance than when I was supposed to. The show was at 7:30, they told us to show up at 5. I showed up at like 2. So I show up, I get my ticket. They give you this sort of badge. It's a thing you put around your neck, and it has a pen at the bottom. The pen is for when you're at ringside. If you want people to sign something you got during the show, it's accessible. You have the pen on you, just take it out, and you're ready. The black ones, which I had, were only for the Superstar Experience, while the white ones were for the Walk the Aisle. The white ones had those same type of things too. And the beds were like really small. They're like this big with a little W logo on it. I don't know where I put mine. I think I put it in my Superstar Experience bag and it's in my room. And so that's basically what they gave you first. That's to say, all right, you're allowed to go in. You have the ticket and you have that. So I waited a little bit, fucked around. And when it came close to 5, I waited near the door. They let us in. They have us go scan their tickets in, and they have us go through the metal detectors like every other regular arena. Then the next step was supposed to allow us to go to the merchandise stand and buy things. We were allowed early access to the merchandise stand if we were wanting to buy anything. I didn't buy anything. I had my Bailey shirt. I didn't really feel necessary to buy anything shirts, because even shirts-wise, like, you know, they had Roman, Sasha, they had the Bailey shirt I was wearing. They had Bray. And they had Sammy's shirt from earlier in the year for the Montreal show. They had the recycled UP Mania shirts from Montreal as well. And that was about it. They didn't really have anything else. You know, they had a couple of knickknacks that, to me, nothing really interesting for me. I really didn't want to get anything from there. So I just looked around and that was it. Before we got there, we had to wait for the merchandise stand to be ready. So instead they had us play some trivia. Which basically she was giving away prizes, and like the questions were like stuff that I thought was easy, but I still fucked up on a little bit of them. I ended up getting the one I got, which was like which wrestlers from San Diego, California. So and the prizes, you had like Superstar Experience caps, which, you know, to me I didn't get because I already was gonna get them in my Superstar Experience little gift bag. It was a charger again that wanted to, I think, a person from to walk the aisle, and you had three little pictures that were signed, and they were like in a cardboard thing, and they were autographed, and you had Charlotte, Asuka, and Joe. And the guy got the first question. He picked Charlotte. I was like, ah, shit. I would have left against Charlotte. And then I had choice between Asuka and Joe. I went with Asuka, and the little girl ended up getting Samoa Joe. So, but I think she just ended up giving it away. So we move on to the merch stand. I look around and we wait. And we were gonna go do the walk the aisle stuff, as she explained, but we had to wait because there were people in the ring, and they wouldn't get out of it. So, she goes and leaves to check. So we have the two guards looking around. The two guards, they just fuck around. They don't even give a fuck. So I peek through the curtain to go into the arena because we were on the concourse. And as I peek through, I see that in the ring was Bailey and Sasha. And they were just messing around, running the ropes and stuff. And I had recorded a little bit and people were taking pictures. But we didn't post anything because the girl asked us nicely not to do it. So I didn't. I mean, I gotta respect the rules. The rules. So when everything was ready, she leads us down the steps. We go basically into the arena, down the steps. We walk down the ringside aisle. We go around, and then we go up a little entrance they had to the side that went into quote-unquote Gorilla, which was a Gorilla tunnel. Basically, you walk back there where we had steps that went onto the stage, and you had the curtains that led through the Minitrons and out onto the stage. To your left, you had this long tunnel until you had basically what was backstage. So we went right. I went up the steps, came out through the curtain, and we were on the stage. We walked down the ramp, down the aisle, and when we got to ringside, we got to take a picture at ringside with a WB title, a replica. She said it was a stunt belt. That was what they used when we did spots with the belts, like hitting someone with it, etc. So we got to take pictures there. That was cool. We got to touch the title. My eagerness got the better of me. I touched like the mat, the apron. I touched the ring ropes. I went and grabbed one of the turnbuckles, and I was like, I wanted to feel how it was. And those goddamn ropes, they were tight, but they bounced. They felt a little bit like they were gonna bounce. And the mat felt soft as hell. And the part where they're like the side between the apron, where they're always saying, "Oh, the hardest part of the ring," it felt like completely soft and fine. So it's just typical WWE trying to oversell something. Anyways. So we got to do that. Walk the aisle people got to do it. The Superstar Experience people as well. Then when that was done, the Walk the Aisle people had to go to their seats and they got their gift bags. The Superstar Experience people headed to the little backstage room. And it was a room that was about the size of this one, maybe a little bit bigger. Were chairs, and the woman had like her own little laptop, little workplace where there was music playing, and they gave us the Superstar Experience bags. Which then they had the autograph book, and the autograph book you had all the superstars, and it was basically said to have us at least have something to sign for the superstars that show up. So she explains the superstars are gonna come, you get to come up, have a sign, take a picture, and then you go back and you let people have their turn, and then she leaves and goes off to get her own thing. The waits were a little bit long. Like that one was, I think, a couple 5 minutes. But then again, I don't think really I think it's planned, but somewhat like they don't plan what time they're gonna do it. So they have to get the superstar. They have to make sure the superstar is ready. If they have anything else to do, they have to do it and all that. And then they end up. Then the first superstar to come out was Lacey Evans, and Lacey Evans was completely in character. Like she had she said Canada was horrible. She said Tim Hortons coffee was horrible, and she was drinking like a small cup. She had like a bowl with gummy bears in it, and she asked, because lady on her computer, she had this little speakers, and she was playing like rock and roll on it, and Lacey demanded that she change it to something better. And she put like old classical music, and then Lacey met us all. And I was really nervous with Lacey because, again, to me, you meet superstars you see on TV, there's going to be like that shock factor, that nervousness, because you're like, holy shit, I watch this person on TV, I root for this person, I boo this person, or whatever. And when you meet him in person, it's something. So, Lacey, of course, talked a little bit of trash. She had my Bailey shirt, and I said, to play along, I said, oh, it was the only thing clean I had to wear today, and she told me to because it says Bailey is my role model. It says why is Bailey a role model? What makes a role model? And then I had to say, well, you're a role model because of all you've done, and etc. etc. And I was basically bullshitting through my teeth, but I was trying to be nice and got to take a picture with Lacey Evans. She was saying like don't she was saying the thing like don't touch me so much, like she was like, oh, you don't touch me, and she was wearing the gloves. So I figured I put my arm around her, but I didn't touch her at all. Like I literally, my arm had like this much space between her back and my arm, and I was like this, and I was like, I'm not gonna touch her. I'm not gonna fucking touch her. Just I guess being respectful, figuring I'm not gonna lay my hand there or touch her in case she doesn't want it. I don't want to end up being known as a creep or whatever. Anyways, so Lacey, I got to meet Lacey first. Everyone went. She was really nice to the little girl, and there was another girl that was with us. She was super nice to her too. She left. So then we wait a little bit, and then Sami Zayn comes out. But then the women say with Sami, we couldn't take too long because he has to get ready because he was the opening match of the show, and we get to meet Sami. Sami's talking French and in English. She asked everyone from where we were. I said I'm from Victoriaville. He's like, oh yeah, I think I know where that is. And Sami was super cool, super nice. But Sami's was pretty quick because, of course, like she said, he was the first match. Ironically, the third one's the New Day, Biggie and Kofi. They were also part of the opening match, but they took their time, and I got to poke fun at Kofi for New England losing to Miami since he's a big Patriots fan in football, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry they lost. And the thing is that the girl before told me, don't mention it to Kofi. He's such a big Patriots fan. But I did on purpose to mention it. He was like, oh, you got stuff to sign? Well, you're not getting any signature. Then I tried to say, oh, well, you guys are still going to the Super Bowl. He's like, yeah, now you're trying to put that bad juju on us. You're jinxing us. Ironically, I did. And I got to meet Biggie and Kofi. They were both super cool. Biggie was super, super cool, and so was Kofi. And got to take a picture with both belts around my shoulders, and I said, I replaced you, Xavier, and they both went laughing, and they took silly ass pictures. New Day was fucking awesome. That was really, really cool. So Superstar, that part of it ends. We head to our seats. Show starts. Being where I am, I got to talk like Charles Robertson between matches. The other referee, Danilo, the ring announcer. I asked him from where he was, and I said he was doing a good job. Then the matches start. As term of really interactions, like I got to talk with Kofi and Big E a little bit. Big E, when Braun was doing the spot, like going around the ring trying to tackle everyone, Big E hit under the apron. He was looking over at me and the guy that was beside me, trying to say like, oh, am I okay? Can I go? And all that. And that was really, really cool. Didn't really interact with any of the heels in that match, Sammy, Cesaro, or Shinsuke. And I actually got to I caught a New Day pancake, and I ripped it, and I passed it to a few people, passed it to a little girl behind me. And it tasted like a really good pancake. It tasted like a pancake, but it was cold as hell. And they come from Big E's thing. It came on the platter that Kofi always has. But it was really, really cold. Anyways, that match goes through. Then it was Carmella versus Sonya Deville. Carmella really ignored me. Mandy was funny because each time I tried to start like a Carmella, like let's go Carmella or Carmella chant, she would always come over and say, shut up, and I would laugh my ass off because a pretty blonde girl was telling me to shut up. Besides that, really other interactions that was the cool thing about this, that you get to interact with people, get to interact with the wrestlers during matches, during their entrance. Got to interact with Roman during his entrance, Baron as well, as you can see on my channel. Got to interact with Sasha. Sasha didn't record it because I wanted Sasha to see it, and I didn't want to record it. And I was showing Sasha like, hey, look, I have my Bailey shirt. And I say, Sasha. She's like, no. She's telling me like, no. And I couldn't hear what she said, but from what I remember what her lips said, I think she was saying like, you can't wear that or whatever. They get to interact with Bailey. Didn't really get to interact with Alexa or Nikki or Lacey or Dana during their match. But, I mean, Lacey was going to interact with the woman rooting for Bailey. Bailey and Sasha were hilarious because they were trying to make people cry. And I think they made, like, 2 people cry. It was funny. Didn't really get to interact with Dolph or Chad Gable or Elias. Elias got to interact with the guy beside me because the guy beside me went to the show in Toronto, and they were basically repeating the same show, so you got to see it twice. Following that, I didn't really get any other major interactions. We'll get to interact with Lucha House Party or Revival, but that was okay. The best ones really came during the main event with Corbin and Roman, and they're getting to boo Corbin and going at it with him, and then Roman, saying kick his ass. Roman's like, I got you. And then when they did the spot with the hockey stick, because of course in Quebec they have to do hockey stuff. After Roman did, I was like, "Oh, Roman, you're a great hockey player," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I played in my youth down in Florida, but did not play that much because I'm in Florida. We didn't have any ice." So that was really cool. And then Roman got to sign my autograph book as well. I want to take a picture with him, but he was, I don't know, he was sort of taking, he wasn't really taking his time, but because there was other kids in front of me, so I wasn't mad or anything. But the show was really cool. Price wise, at first you can be like, holy shit, this is expensive, and I get it. But when you get to live that experience, it's worth it. Would I say I do it every time I go to a house show? No. Like, I wouldn't mind going back to another house show and sitting in a regular stance. But is it something that I experienced at least once, twice in my life? I'd say definitely. So, if you go to another house show and you have a chance to do the Superstar Experience, I say go ahead. If budget-wise you can't really, try to get to walk the aisle. If you can get a good seat on the aisle, go ahead. But, the Superstar Experience was really something really cool that made it actually worth it to me, personally, to actually get to do it once. And I say, like I said, if price-wise, if you can afford it, but you're not really sold, go for it. Trust me, you'll be sold on it after. If price-wise, try to walk the aisle, but if ever you have a chance to go to a house show and just do that, you'll love the experience, and I loved it. I was absolutely a huge fan of the experience, so I hope this, maybe convince some people to maybe try it out for once. If you ever buy a Superstar Experience, you say you buy it thanks to Rafael Leduc, tell WWE so I can get some of them fucking profits, my motherfuckers. Anyways, thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like. Make sure to subscribe to Rafael Leduc Page Guy channel. I'll try to get back into this when I'm feeling better. Roller WrestleMania season's coming up. Royal Rumble and everything. And try to get back into it. Thank you for watching. And have yourselves a very good night.